guest today is Tony Thompson. Tony is an engineer, a musician, a philanthropist, and the chairman and CEO of Kwame Building Group. Kwame, they are involved in about every big construction project in St. Louis and around the country. That includes the new St. Louis City Park soccer stadium. So with that, I'd like to welcome Tony Thompson. Tony, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
You are a musician.
Yeah.
You turned down a scholarship, I believe,
That's
to
correct.
what, University of Kentucky?
Yeah.
Jazz
You did your
scholarship.
homework.
I did a little research for
Okay.
you coming in, Tony. And you opted for the architecture route.
Mm-hmm.
But you've stayed involved in music, and you've got a music studio in downtown St. Louis. Tell us a bit about that, and because you're impacting people through that.
Well, music has always been my passion, and so at this age, it's not like I'm not going on tour. I'm not going to go perform anywhere. So I chose the audio production route, and so I went to France. I spent about 10 days in France studying under a young guru who is Jay-Z's producer and engineer. And I learned how it was a program called Mix with the Masters. So I was selected. There were like 15 people from around the world, and just learned how to mix and master music. And when I came back, I produced my first album that is on iTunes. And, it's more fusion, jazzy kind of stuff,
Yeah.
because it still go back to my roots when you're talking 70s, 80s kind of music. But it's from a Chick Corea. Carlos Santana type era, but also with a more Herbie Hancock,
Headhunters?
Headhunters type feel. Now I have produced some stuff for some other younger generational people and some albums out there. And there's some people that are performing around St. Louis. I had a young lady that I worked with that was on American Idol a couple of seasons ago. Gabby Jones, and she's doing pretty well right now. So yeah, I'm pleased. They were scholarship recipients, so that tied into my foundation. So I created a scholarship because most of my scholarships go towards engineering and business students. But I did a series called Live Your Dream for people who were interested in the arts. Next year we'll be celebrating our 20th year, so I'd like for you guys to be a big sponsor next year. So, but anyway, but the foundation.
How can I say no now?
Right, it'll be our 20th year, so I've given out over $3 million for endowed scholarships at all the local universities here in St. Louis. And I created endowment at these institutions because it's there for perpetuity. As you well know, from an endowment standpoint, I fund it, and I set the criteria up so that the school actually makes the selection. I don't select the students, the schools do that.
Okay.
Because I believe that education has made a difference in my life. And that's the one, in my opinion, the big equalizer. Discrimination, racism, all that goes out the window when you're educated and you have an opportunity to do things. So I believe that everyone should have an opportunity to get an education, regardless of their socioeconomic condition, because that's the only way we're going to be competitive in the global market. It's the only way we're going to grow as a nation. It's the only way we're going to close that disparity, the economic gap, is by having everyone educated in our community and to have access to a decent job, a career.
Tony, thank you so much for coming. Fascinating discussion, as usual, with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.